Okay.
All right. So now we're moving on with section 8, the candid word about fees. And the next few is where you're really going to dive into you being prepared and what to do at the table and all the stuff that happens at the end. So buckle up. Let's go ahead and get these taken care of. In this particular section, we're going to talk about recap of fees and inside of fees, the go-to notary, and behind the scenes. All right. And just a quick recap, business planning for profit. You need to know what it costs to operate. Dallas and Houston are 4 hours apart, same state, but it's like Northern and Southern California. Total different vibe, different everything. When I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I gladly pay the tolls because if you want to commute throughout that whole metroplex, you're going to pay tolls. So my pricing's a little different. In Houston, I have less expense, but I might as well be in LA because traffic is just horrible. Just whole different structure. But if I'm out in West Texas or East Texas, well, I might be traveling further, but I can get there, So again, you really need to focus on your immediate market. And if you're willing to travel throughout your state or wherever you're commissioned, you're allowed to use it. Because, hey, if let's say you're in Ohio and you go, Northern Ohio, and you got family members there, you can always switch your profiles and your zip codes and get business as you travel. So that's a thing a lot of people don't know. Study your service area. Again, what are things that may impact? So tolls, construction, traffic, and weather issues, which most of us are all roll our eyes now with the weather issues. How much competition do you have? High competition usually means you have to be more competitive, lower fees, or do you have no competition and higher fees? Also, you want to factor in volume discounts. So if you're getting a direct business and really to keep your place at the table, sometimes you might over time want to say, hey, you're giving me a nice book of volume and I'm happy to do this, or lower my fee. Or, hey, if you need me to drop these docs off and save you the $20 or whatever that FedEx cost you, I'll just swing by and drop them off. Still leave your fee the same. But anyways, I'll let you guys build that now that you're business owners here in the near future. Know your desirable fee range early so you can recognize it when the fee does not provide profit. It's okay, guys, to decline an offer. It's okay to counter. So many notaries in this platform, they don't respond at all, so they get overlooked. When I see that, I start adding them to the blacklist. And my blacklist in most major markets is more people are on that than they are, the availability of the preferred list, just because they're not working or whatever the case may be. But the fee is not right, just hit that button. Or if they call you and say, you know what, I'd be happy to do this for you, but with everything that's involved, this is my fee. If you can honor this, I will take great care of your customers and I will meet all these expectations. And just that commitment and your willingness, sometimes they're like, hey, no problem. You answered the phone and you were professional. Be very surprised what your competition or lack thereof is not doing. Your business, your goals, your fees. Set your goals for profit in your business and know the lowest fee that you can accept before you negotiate. Fees are not standard across the United States. Do not provide other notaries with your standard fees or ask for them for a list of their fees. Now, if you happen to be online and you want to scope out and see what's out there, if your competition has that out there, shame on them, good for you. But you do not want to reciprocate because you can fall into a federal law or break a federal law, which is price fixing, which basically means several people or a band of people try to form a similar pricing structure to abolish competition. It's not fair trade. It's not fair competition and so forth. Excuse me. Social media is full of inflated fees. When Brenda mentioned that in this last section, my camera wasn't on, but I was over here. I was like, yeah. Most people lie on social media. Most people lie on social media. I know that because I can go back and fact check. And I don't say that to be mean or just like a naysayer. But I'm like, if you're doing that and you're driving from Los Angeles to whatever, the moment I open their profile, because I can't share this information with anybody, their profile's got negative reviews left and right. I'm thinking, there's no way you're getting business. So when you see that, they want to be trainers who promise big bucks if you only take their course. They're attention seekers on social media. It's just the way the world is, I guess. To get notaries in their ears to set prices higher than their own. So some have been trying to be strategic in that way, and that's just bad because they're setting you up to fail. But exorbitantly high fees can be considered price gouging as well. So keep that mindful. But Brenda made a very good point several times. So long as you are consistent, then that kind of gets you off radar from being a price gouger or price fixer, whatever the case may be. But you know what? It may be that there's high demand, like the weather that's upcoming. Most of my notaries are not doing business, and I've already told my clients, hey, unless it's in their backyard and they can safely walk, the deductible that they have to pay for their vehicle and there's damage is likely more than the fee they're earning from the signing. So, you know, if you were to charge $500-$600 and you're the only notary that said yes, maybe they'll pay for that. But then again, they'll probably never use you again. So again, you need to find that balance, and only you can find where that level is. All right. 6 figures, take my course. 6 figures, watch this free video, go direct. Bypass everything. You're an immediate brain surgeon and you need no experience. Avoid that crowd. You need to study the trade and explore common sense approaches that teach you the fundamentals, which you guys are here. You're doing that. And again, thank you a million times over. You've learned a lot, and you're better establishing your business. You're not setting yourself up to fail. But hey, you know what? Anyone else wants to go that route, let them, because you guys are spending your money wisely on stuff you need, and then, growing your business. So, but unfortunately, in the current time, heavy marketing sells, but the business setbacks do not. Decent money can be made. We're not going to sit here and tell you can't make, whatever. If you want to stick with 6 figures, why can't you make 7 figures? And that's any business. So, but most people, there's a path to success. In other words, keep your money and grow your money, grow your business. You might have to hire other people. Then you start becoming a bigger company. But if you just go out with that as the dream, you're just going to make everyone else richer to tell you that you may or may not be successful. So you could tell I'm passionate about that, because behind the scenes, and again, title companies and lenders and even large real estate firms, it's all small, close knit, and they're not happy right now with a bunch of notaries and shenanigans. So we'll just leave it at that. Build your foundation first, and then your empire will follow. Know your worth while recognizing supply and demand. So that way you're not sitting there spending all this money and your phone's not ringing. And ultimately, when you do all this, you are going to be that go-to notary for title companies, even hiring parties. I tell people you can't have all your eggs in one basket. You want direct business, you want signing services, because your title companies, those escrow officers, they go to another title company. When they go to the other title company, they may only let that closer use a signing service or like bank server, service link. That's what we run into a lot with the Fidelity family of companies. And then next thing you know, you're having to market yourself all over again. So again, you want to keep as much diverse portfolio as you can so that your money's always coming in. So what exactly is a go-to notary? You're going to be well trained. You're going to have enough experience under your belt, and you're not going to need much supervision, if very little. You're going to champion ethics. Hey, you know what? I can't do this particular certificate. It doesn't meet my state's requirement. However, I can do a loose certificate and we can accomplish the same thing. You give people solutions and plan B and things like that. That's how they know that this notary knows what they're doing. So again, champion ethics. You're going to know your state's laws and certificate language. You're going to be responsive to the requirements of the hiring party. Communication according to the hiring party's preference, whether it's on a platform, text, email, or call. Communication according to your hiring party's preference. Communication according to your hiring party's preference. You will see on social media that if you don't respond timely, they are hounding you. And unfortunately, I'm with you. Some of these companies, it's every 5 minutes. You barely clear the driveway of your signer's residence and they're bugging you. There's that crowd. But a lot of these platforms are going to email you or text you saying, hey, it's been an hour and a half. They haven't heard from you. So the best thing, and we'll talk about it in a later segment, you've got to stay on top of communication because that as well will help you get on the preferred list. They want a flawless loan package, period. I mean, that's the name of the game that you're delivering a product. And that product comes back and it's missing signatures and initials, and you didn't stamp. Your stamp is low on ink, illegible. Then you're having to go back out. Some states you have to redo the whole package because you can't fix anything, like California. So that's the name of the game. These qualities will ultimately result in repeat business from the hiring parties, and again, one-way path to getting direct business. Let's talk about the truth on the fees. Title companies want to be competitive with their fees and services. And again, that's the name of their game. I mean, sometimes they pay for your fee out of their own pocket in order to compete. Some title companies even have a set fee what they're going to pay for you, and then you sign a contract as an independent contractor, and there's no negotiation. Competitiveness stems on in-house fees and customer service. So the better the notary, the better the title company looks. And what we mean by that is some of these title companies, especially national, they have a national account. Let's just say with they're not around anymore. Let's just say PennyMac Loan Services. And so PennyMac uses ABC Title in Ohio, who networks with their local regional title companies, or they have their own signing service in house and they hire you guys. So they have to be competitive on their fees, like the escrow fee, their overnight fee, crisis management fee. And yes, I just made that up. But that lender uses them because their fees are pretty solid. That allows the lender to have ongoing, they know the expectation what the fees are, because with CFPB and all that, lenders can't change fees on a whim anymore, and that's a whole different conversation. So what they're going to expect you, some of those companies, if that's their fees, great. Now when you enroll with those companies, if you sign that, then that's the fees you're going to get. But if they have a section that says, okay, what do you counter, then again, put what's right and what you think you can reasonably get. But the signing agents are not being paid lavish fees for minimal assignments. Fees are increased when there's a sustained reason. For instance, you call and confirm the appointment and Mr. and Mrs. are going to be there. You show up and Mr. says, oh, my wife had to go back to work, but you can go meet her. And next thing you know, it's a county over. Well, obviously you need to be compensated for that because you do have the expense. Anytime you have those variables, you need to relay that to your hiring party ASAP so they can know, and so you get something in writing that you'll be reasonably compensated. All right, middlemen. A reputable signing service spends 1 to 2 hours doing the following. They're obviously going to find you. They're going to answer questions and coach and mentor you. They're going to get solutions from the title company or whoever their client is on weird issues. And they're kind of the middleman, I mean, they are the middleman, but they are your advocate. And you kind of want to put the responsibility on their shoulder. Let them do all the legwork when there's an issue. They want to make sure that the assignment's confirmed and finished timely. So many title companies and hiring parties now use these platforms for a reason. It's convenient. It cuts down on their data entry and then pick up the phone and calling you. They're also going to check your work and relay clerical efforts that are needed. And they're going to cut your check and pay the notary and send out a 1099. I will tell you just really quick, there are bad signing services, which you need to do your homework and listen to your peers on social media. For me personally, I'm still backlogged doing accounts receivable. I thought I was done. I'm still back in November of last year, but my notaries have all been paid. And that's a reputable signing service. I had to dip into my own 401k and savings to make sure my notaries were paid. And that's just the way it should be. And eventually it gets caught up, but just as your hiring party is interviewing you, you need to be interviewing them to make sure everything's on the up and up. Like, there's a lot of time. People think we just click a button, find you, and we make money. Some may operate that way, but with me being the title side, I'm gonna look in your package. If I jump in the signing that you handled, it's gonna be critiqued and looked at, but in a nice way to help coach you, for the future. There's a lot of time behind the scenes. Let me just assure you that it's not a click go and mail a check. I wish it was, but it's not. Much of the work is coming through signing services in many areas because busy title companies cannot feasibly locate notaries while they complete closings and prepare documents. And that's another thing. Getting all this direct business that everyone think is just you could just land it right away. These escrow officers, and I'll speak for myself when I was an escrow officer, I had 10 signing services I could use, but I only used I think 3, but 2 for sure. And so I would say I need a notary Mayday, the lender dropped the ball. They need a notary within the hour and blah, 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 blah. And of course, notaries are like, why are they so last minute? Why do they drop the ball? We don't know what happened, right? All I know is I have docs, I'm prepping them. I'm not going to pull up my Rolodex or my phone or my Facebook and say, hey, this is the best notary, I used you before. I don't have time for that. It is easy for me to send an email and say, boom, 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 make this happen. And they do the legwork. Signing services are not going to go away. That's why I urge you to find the ones that are good, that pay on time, they pay you a fair fee. And because, like I said, when I left title companies, I've been pretty much almost every title company except one, which is the First American Family. But all the other big 3, I've worked at everything just because you have to leave in order to make a raise and things like that. So if you did all the signings that I could possibly throw your way, well, you're going to be on vacation. You're going to possibly be ill. You might be at a function with your family. You're not going to be there when I need you. So you're inconvenienced or you're inconvenient to me at that particular moment. So I'm not going to pick up the phone and start calling 5 or 6 notaries. So again, signing services are not going anywhere. Just do your due diligence before you accept a fee or order through them. All right. Oh, the high volume title companies may exclusively use a particular signing service. 2 years ago, when I was in your shoes, I actually retired and started over. I mean, literally, I had a couple of branches that would use me, but I didn't have any more volume than you guys will have. So here I am, 2.5 years later. I have almost 50 direct clients that I do scheduling for. And just everything, I got that business from doing what we're teaching you guys. So, but anyways, advantages of working for the signing services. You get to learn how to be a notary signing agent without exposing to the title company or the lender that you have a limited understanding and lack of experience when you're brand new. You can work for many services. I mean, you're your own owner, right? So you don't work with this one, great. You want to work with this one, even better. On the platforms, you build a reputation. So as you do more signings, especially on SnapDocs, the more you complete, or at least the more you respond to, whether you deny or you counter, that's going to keep adding to your ranks. So if you work with one signing service, you're now becoming more attractive to the others. So just keep that in your mind too. You also get to add a company to your professional resume. So when you start going direct or getting what we call fidelity approved, as I mentioned earlier, they're going to want to know what signing services you work for. And then you can say, hey, the last 6 months I worked for, Jake or, BankServe or whatever the case may be. And then basically just think of it as a middleman that sometimes has given up part of a fee for a marketing team. So same thing with a headhunter. These companies want a new president, VIP, someone that's very specific for the role, but they're not going to go on LinkedIn and all that. They're going to hire the headhunter. So, all right. Direct work considerations. Theoretically, if you do get direct work, you could be paid the same amount as the signing service. But without training and refined work ethics and a proven experience and track record, you really should delay soliciting direct business, in our opinion. And I know that right there is like the dynamite. How dare you say that, Jake? Brenda and I are from behind the scenes as mentors. We have done this through literally every obstacle that a signing agent has gone through the last 2 decades and then some. The good times, the bad times, the hard times, when our phone wasn't ringing. Jake was a DoorDash driver. Jake was an Uber driver. Jake worked at Chili's on the side while being an escrow officer full time because the market does have dips. So that mindset that you have to go direct right away, I really feel that you just kind of cut your foot off and you just need to build that path up. All right. And in time, you will need direct business in your portfolio, obviously, because they are great relationships. And then they will start asking you to do things that they will pay you handsomely for. Like, can you come in all day and do this? Or, hey, you live in, I know I'm just giving you references, but you live in the South Dallas Fort Worth area. My title company in the Northeast of that area, or my branch, that's where they want to meet. Can you go up there and they hand deliver the documents back since we're on your way back home? And I'll pay you an extra $50, $25 or whatever the case may be. So definitely direct is the way to go, but you got to earn your way up. All right. That's the conclusion of section 8. Let's go ahead and do for number 9.
Hi, Jake.
Yes, ma'am.